Hello everyone, my name is Melody and today we're going to be talking about the Uncanny Valley. We're going to have lots of fun in this video today. I hope you're excited because today you might find out that the Uncanny Valley is not what you think it is.
We have all experienced something in our life that is undeniably Uncanny Valley, whether it is the I Feel Fantastic music video or the Polar Express. Uncanny Valley has been something that has sparked interest and really grown in popularity as a genre of horror thanks to the internet, and a new genre of horror that has made its way across the internet known as alternate horror and analog horror. Now, I'm sure you know what analog horror is. It doesn't always interact with Uncanny Valley. That's kind of a newer thing. Today we're going to talk about it and some common misconceptions about it. The Uncanny Valley is a psychological phenomenon when you see something that could almost be human but isn't quite crossing that human threshold, so your brain literally just melts. While we associate the Uncanny Valley being a newer meme culture term, it actually was coined in 1970 by Masahiro Mori, a Japanese robotics artist who noticed that people's comfort level with robots tended to drop the closer they looked to a human. The more that a robot looked exactly like a human, the more that we liked it. This dip in comfort level is known as the Uncanny Valley. It's a level of comfortability that we feel as people depending on how human or inhuman something looks. And we generally like things that look really human, and we generally like things that don't look human at all. It's when it's teetering on the edge of humanity that we start to get a little uncomfortable. Let's keep things simple. This is why we are totally fine with WALL-E and C-3PO, but super hyper-realistic robots that just quite aren't making that human cut, like Sophia, for example, are absolutely terrifying to some, including me. I'm sorry, I cannot stand Sophia. So let's talk about one of the most widely known reasons we experience Uncanny Valley that is completely fake, like a total lie.
Why do we have Uncanny Valley? What imposter organism was tricking our ancestors into thinking they were humans?
Other humanoid species like Neanderthals, Denisovians, etc. One of the running theories as to why they all died out and humans are the only humanid species left is because the Uncanny Valley effect helped humans target non-humans and kill them off.
If they wanted to kill them, then why did they fuck so many of them?
Monster fucks have existed since the dawn of man, apparently.
This theory sounds amazing on Reddit and Tumblr, but in reality it just doesn't hold up, and that is the missing link theory. It was a phenomenon a few years ago that people started saying that the Uncanny Valley was because the human brain recognizes something human, but not quite human, implying that the human brain, Homo sapien brain, I should say, evolved to fear Neanderthals because in many instances, Homo sapiens fought with Neanderthals back when they both roamed the earth together evolutionary-wise. And it seems logical because caveman logic does equal horror movie instincts. What makes me mad is that this is one of the most widely accepted layman's terms explanations for Uncanny Valley, and people just assume that it's correct because of something they saw on Facebook or Tumblr or whatever, and it's completely not factual. There's no scientific evidence to support this, but on top of that, humans and Neanderthals, yes, they did fight sometimes, in the same way that humans fight with other humans now. They often coexisted, and in many instances, they even interbred. Neanderthals may have posed as a threat to some humans, but no more than other humans did. It wasn't a kill-on-sight scenario. So yeah, it's a fun theory, and it would make an awesome science fiction movie, but at the end of the day, it's kinda just clickbait. And the real reason that humans experience Uncanny Valley probably has a lot more to do with your subconscious fear of death and disease detection. The first theory is the disease detection theory. Our brains evolved to detect threats, and one of the biggest things that we can detect is when someone around you is feeling ill. You may be thinking that you're toughing it through work like an absolute champ, and someone comes up to you and goes, "Hey, you don't look too good," and you're like, "Well, damn, I thought I looked fine." That's the exact thing that's happening with Uncanny Valley. Our brains evolved to detect these subtle threats like disease, corpses, a human moving or not acting quite right. When something looks human but moves, sounds, or just kind of generally is a little bit off, your brain associates this with disease. We're wired to detect the smallest inconsistencies in faces, from symmetry, blinking speed, and skin tone. It's really hard to match those exact human traits when you're not human at all. So when we see things like the children from the Polar Express, our brains tell us that's gotta be a diseased zombie, throw a rock at it, please. A robot that looks human but lacks the life behind humanity kind of just plays off as a corpse in our brains. And uncanny figures scientifically not only remind us of death, but also of our own mortality. This is why people who go into wax museums report having strange and weird feelings, similar to that if you were at a funeral home. Scientifically, even if we can't put our exact finger on it, our fear of uncanny valley and things looking almost but not quite human stems from our unconscious, subconscious, I guess you should say, fear and need to survive. But there's something going on with humans today that is absolutely, maybe even more terrifying than that. We are slowly, over time, losing our uncanny valley. So, as we have talked about, the uncanny valley developed in the human mind due to a fear of corpses, death, and disease. But in the modern day age of the internet, humans are losing their uncanny valley detection skills every single day, because the more we see things that are almost human but not quite, the less it freaks us out. The more we see these uncanny visuals in horror movies, games, hyper-realistic CGI influencers, AI faces, the less we notice that there's anything wrong. Many people are starting to suspect that the longer we spend on the internet as a society, the less we are going to even care about the uncanny valley detection. And me personally, I can speak for this. A couple years ago, you probably know that AI wasn't exactly good. We had those videos of Will Smith eating spaghetti. Now we have full-on videos that really trick people every single day because of how realistic they are. Back in the day, there was an internet phenomenon of a AI demon, supposedly. It wasn't real. This is not an actual AI demon, whatever. There was a scary thread on Twitter about an AI figure named Loab. When I first saw images of this woman appearing in AI, I was deeply disturbed. I was extremely freaked out. Like, I couldn't even look at it without getting scared. So I decided to go on a Twitter deep dive about the entire incident, and when I looked at the images, they weren't nearly as freaky or scary as I thought they were originally. And I am not the only one who used to be extremely creeped out by AI-generated images, and now they just kind of don't matter to me. Many studies that are coming out are starting to suggest that our uncanny response is fading over time as a society. And that makes plenty of sense considering we know that our brains can adapt to horror. Lots of horror movie fans are constantly seeking scarier and more graphic content because we're chasing that feeling of fear that we originally felt, but nothing is seeming to cut it. There's a good possibility that one day we may not even be psychologically affected by things that aren't quite human. Congratulations, humanity. You officially patched your fear response. Enjoy getting catfished by robots. And my last little fun tidbit of information is if you are constantly freaked out by things that give you the uncanny valley response, I have great news for you because research shows that you may be empathetically more inclined than the average person. You're not paranoid, your brain is just doing its job a little bit too well. People with high levels of empathy and social awareness actually experience the uncanny valley more. That's because they are better at reading micro expressions and subtle movements that make you appear human, which at the end of the day is all about emotion. That's one of the main things that determines computers from people and animals from people is the expression of human emotion. So what is the point of this video? Should we just stop watching scary movies and absorbing uncanny valley content for the fear of making our brains not scared anymore? Not necessarily. I mean, whatever happens is gonna happen. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Melody. This channel is called Melody Ever After. I make all sorts of videos on all things freaky, geeky, or spooky, so if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you checked my channel out. Until next time, I'll catch you in the next one.